Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to my craft room. We are going to paint another boot today. Last time we painted that boot behind me. We're going to do this one, same design, same cutout, but we're going to do it with some sunflowers. So we're going to do a little bit of painting and a little bit of Mod Podging again and see what we turn out with. I don't know. I've got a few things laying here, so I haven't completely decided. Hello, Miss Wanda. Let me make sure I can get everybody pulled up over here. And I may have to get out and go back in. Let's see. Make sure I can see some comments. Mr. FB has not been real nice to some of us lately on comments, so we're just having to take them as we can get them. All right, let's see what we got here. Tells me I'm in, but there we are. Okay. And we'll refresh in a minute and give it a second to pull up. I can see Wanda on here, so I can see that. So I know that I'm at least live. And hopefully the comments will come in on the iPad in a second. I'm not getting them right now, but we're going to go ahead and start. And if you're new to me, please say hello and tell me that you're a newbie. My name is Pam Savage. I am owner of Young at Heart Creations, and I love to create and especially paint with you, and I'm trying to clean out my stash. So you might see me painting a few things the same as far as cutouts and shapes, but I'll try to do them a little differently. But I am trying to clean out my wood pile, my cutout pile. And so this is what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be doing another boot. This one we're going to be doing a little, just different colors and different fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you down and get started here. Now this one's kind of long. It takes up about all of my table here, so a little crowded for me, but we're going to go for it anyway. Okay, so I need to base coat it. Last time I base coated it ahead of time. I did not do that this time. Scoot this out of the way. I can get you on here. Okay, so I did base coat it in white, but I'm going to base coat this one. Last time we did it in a kind of a coral color. This one's going to be an aloe green. And this is the fabric that we will be using. Isn't that pretty? I love it. And I may end up doing one with, I don't know yet, may end up doing one with a napkin. I'll have to look through my napkin stash. Although I'm having a little paint party in my home and we're going to be using napkins, so I may want to wait till after that so I don't use all the napkins up. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water to the paint. Not a lot, but just a little bit to get it smoothing out on there and flowing like I want it to. And then we will put a second coat on it. Not going to worry about the edges because I'll be painting over those anyway. So we'll just kind of go across here. And normally the top of the boot's going to be about right here, but the way that I've got the material, it's coming down a little further. So I'm just going to paint up to that line. Actually, really don't even need to paint up to that line because we're going to, the lip of it's going to be, or the cuff, I guess you would call it, would come down in a little bit different color, but I can go over it. Again, I didn't even think much about what we're doing here. Seems to be the story of my life lately. My weeks have gotten so busy that I just kind of have to sit down and paint when I can sit down and paint. And I know this is going to be hard to keep in camera, so I may get in and out of camera a little bit without realizing it. See if I can turn it this way. Let's see how I forgot how tall this is. It is 20 inches. It's a pretty good size for this little bitty table. So I just want to go along the sole down here, and we may have to touch it up once we put that. I'm going to put a brown sole on this one. Yeah, I did a brown one on that one too. I don't even remember what brown I did, but I did. But you could do any color, especially if they're rubber boots. Rubber boots can have any color you want them to. Hope everybody's had a good week. It is still crazy windy and cold here in North Texas. It got really warm a couple of days, like up in the 80s. Now it's back down in the 50s. Okay, let's dry that. And we'll put another coat on it because it's pretty splotchy. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Linda. Great. That was my next question. You got your tools. Okay, everybody that ordered during the live should have gotten your tools, your Dippin' Dottie tools. If you ordered after the live sale had closed, because I sold out, and the gentleman that makes them for me is in London until he'll be back sometime this weekend. And so those of you that ordered after the live sale had closed, as soon as he gets back, I will get those ordered. Because you know me, I'm a softie. And I couldn't say, sorry, it's closed, no more sales. But, I mean, I'm always going to make a sale. But the first 20 that came in that live got the first ones that mailed out. Now, be sure and look at them and make sure that they're not broken or anything. I have one customer have one that don't know what the post office did to it, but broke the stem, the handle out. So it must have been something pretty heavy that they threw on top of it. I don't know. But anyway, so let me know. But so far, everybody else has had no problems with them. But I will be changing up my packaging on them because the bubble wrap envelopes that I was putting them in, I just don't think that's going to be sturdy enough for them, protective enough. So we will, I have ordered some little boxes to put them in, and that way I think they'll be safer. It's a learning process still for me, for all of us. I mean, you learn something every day, and I have also learned that it doesn't do any good to write fragile on anything. That, I think, if anything, that just provokes them to be rougher with it. It's like when you see a button and it says, don't push. Everything in your body says, push it just once. Just one time. So if you see fragile on there, it's like, okay, I'm gonna chunk it over here and see if I hear anything break. Okay, so we're just adding some aloe green to the bottom of the boot. And your paint's gonna always dry darker. So this is a little bit darker, but our fabric has a lot of dark in it. So I didn't want to go real light. But we could have gone with some yellows. Now, I'm not going to care too much about going over the line in that sole because we're just going to go over it with brown anyway. I'm sure I'm going to get some of this on my blouse before I'm done. I should have put an apron on. But that would have taken an extra 3-4 minutes. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the edges on this one. And I don't rub it on because I don't want a big ridge on the front or back of it. I just pat it on. And then if I need to smooth it out a little bit, I will. You could also go over the edges with like a furniture marker and make the edges black or dark brown. To give it more of a, like it was cut on a laser. Okay, don't need to do the bottom because that's going to be the brown color. I love the village green, but I haven't been able to find it. I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday to find some colors, 3 or 4 colors, I don't know, 2 or 3 colors, and of course they didn't have them. Our Hobby Lobby just doesn't carry much paint at all anymore, but especially the Deco Art brand, they just carry one rack of it, one display. Smoothing those edges out a little. Okay, and let's see, do it that way. Did we get any on the back? Nope, I haven't done anything with the back. I'll stain the back, but no paint on the back. Now, if I rubbed it on, I would have had paint on the back, but I pat it on. Just tap, tap, tap. All right, let's dry that. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Heather. Okay, all of you, don't change. Well, I'm just a good old country girl, and I'm probably not going to change. I've been this way for a long time. But I'm glad you love me. I love y'all too. I do, so much. You don't realize how much I miss you when I don't get to paint. You're just like an extended family. I've got my family, and then my church family, and my painting family. Okay, so that got it covered real good, but we're going to go a little bit darker on the brim here. And I've got 2 or 3 options we're going to do on the boot itself. We're going to get the boot painted, and then we will get the fabric on there, but I think that looks pretty with that color. Hold it up here. Here's the fabric. Isn't that pretty? Brings out that green. And I've got lots of it, so I'm going to have to get creative and see what I'm going to do with all this fabric that I bought. Because I was just going to get half a yard of each, just to do 1 boot each. And they said, well, it's at Joann's, and they said, well, we have a 2-yard minimum right now because we're trying to get rid of everything. Oh, it makes me sad. So, so sad. Okay, let's go. Let's see if that's going to be dark enough to go over the brim, or if I want to go even darker. I may want to go even darker. Okay, I think I'm going to go even darker than that one. That was Hauser Medium. This is Apple Barrel English Ivy. I think that's what we're going to go with for the brim. Okay, I'm going to switch to an angle brush and see if we can get that on here. I got too much stuff on my desk today. All right, make sure I can get you in the camera here. Okay, and again, normally it would be up here. That's where it's cut, but we're going to come down over that with the fabric. Okay, yeah, I like that color. Okay, and I'm just going to try to stay just with that line. And we'll also use this as our shading color. Now, when you see me doing that, I'm smoothing that paint out on my brush because I just dipped it in the paint. So I don't want a big ridge up here. So I'm just kind of smoothing that paint out a little bit on my brush. And all the way to the end. And that fabric will come over it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this end. And underneath. And I'm going to turn it around so I don't go over this line over here. I'm going to scoot y'all back just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to mark it first. And then we'll fill it in. Okay, we'll put it on the edge here. I'm going to go to Michael's when I finish here and see if they've got the paints that I need. So the paint party that I'm having in my home on May the 3rd is, I invited, I could only have so many because it is in my house, in my living room and dining room. So I invited the ones that have been coming, mostly the ones that have been coming the most to all of my other paint parties and events. So we're going to have probably 8. I'm waiting to hear back from 2 more, but 8's a good number. I think we should have plenty of room. I would like to have, I've got to see how the calendar plays out, but I would like to have a Christmas in, oh, I know, don't say the Christmas word. We just got over Christmas, it feels like, but I would like to have a maybe Christmas in July. I've got the cutest Santa that one of my friends cuts on her laser that I'm wanting to paint with y'all. So if you live in this area, there's so many of you that I didn't realize live so close. It would be so much fun to get together and meet. I've probably had, I'm trying to think how many public paint parties I've had at either a restaurant or a movie bow grill venue, church building. Okay, I think that's dark enough. Now I do want to go ahead and shade the same color underneath it, and then we'll shade around the boot. And we'll do some embellishing up here. Got a little bit of an idea. Of what we are going to do, and I just realized I forgot one color to get out. I'm going to go ahead and paint the sole of it so that if I have to clean up some of that green, I can. We're going to need some of that Yeller. Did y'all ever watch the movie Old Yeller? I've watched it, I don't know how many times. And I cry every time still. I haven't watched it in a long, long time. Okay, and I think we will use a little, let's try this round brush. To work on now, if I bump a button on my iPad, I might knock us off of here because I'm pretty crowded. Okay, but we're going to work on the heel. And I'm just going to kind of get it outlined and then I'll fill it in. We can fill it in with a little bit bigger brush. That is dark chocolate, and it makes a really pretty stainy look. It's real good to do, it and burnt umber are real good to do the back of your, oops, I'm splattering paint everywhere, but the back of your pieces if you want it to have that stained look. Okay, I think I can go ahead and get it with this one. Little angle brush. I kept two little girls Monday. One of them is 3. And the other one is 8. And she is determined to be an artist. She's been begging me to come over forever to get to paint. And every time we had it scheduled, one of them would get sick and they couldn't come. So they finally got to come Monday night. And I had bought little plaster cupcakes and they painted them and they were so cute. And they took it so seriously. I mean, they were artists. They were so proud of what they had done. And she learned that I had a YouTube channel and Facebook and she wanted all that information. She said, well, next time I come, will you paint too? I want to watch you paint. So I'm going to be getting some base coating done. They're going to be back next Monday. I just informed her that they're coming back next Monday too. And she's so excited. And you forget when you get my age, even though I've got grandchildren, that you forget how busy kids can be. How much energy it takes. We painted, we played some games, I fixed them supper, we went outside and we had a contest picking up acorns, and we came in the house to kind of clean up, and one of them, the older one, she said, okay, what are we going to do next? I'm kind of bored. We hadn't even gotten all the way in the front door yet from picking up acorns and having a competition doing that because we have an oak tree and it had dropped a lot of acorns. And anyway, I said, well, let me catch my breath first. We just, we haven't even finished what we were just doing. She said, okay, but I'm bored. We need to find something to do. And we did. But it was fun and cute just to see the excitement on their face. Now, I know I was holding that up where you couldn't see it very well, but that's just the nature of this beast. It's just big for my little area. I don't know about you guys, but is your to-do list with paint projects longer than your finished list? Mine sure is. I've got 50 hats, about a dozen aprons, and then all this wood stuff that I'm trying to catch up on, and several events in between. And caretaker for 3 family members. And I'm trying really hard. I used to stay up, oh my goodness, I used to stay up so late painting. I mean, till the wee hours of the morning, I would stay up painting and trying to finish up things. And I'm trying real hard not to get back into that habit again, because it wears on you. Okay, y'all. I don't know why the iPad is not bringing up all the comments. Hi, Sally. Hi, Kim. I can see them on my phone, but my phone's kind of at a weird angle right now, so I don't know why it's not bringing them up on iPad. I may have to try to get my other, this is an old iPad, but I leave it in here because I don't mind, it's really old, and I don't mind getting a lot of paint. I try not to, but if it were to get paint on it, it wouldn't break my heart. But my newer one, I really don't want paint all over it. And you tell yourself, oh, I won't get paint on it. Yeah, right. We all know how that ends. Okay, and I'll probably do some shading on that, but kind of like the way it looks right there, so I'm just going to leave that for now, and I'm going to clean up just a little bit with some of that green. And then we'll do some shading around the boot itself. And then I've been trying to figure out which videos I wanted to keep and download on YouTube. So I got all of those done. And if YouTube decides to do away with them, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Okay, let's try that. And then I'm just going to use that pine or English ivy, what was it? Yeah, English ivy, apple barrel, to do some shading around it. I might need another coat there. On this top, I can see a little bit of that other color peeking through there. Okay, I think we're good. Hobby Lobby was having a good sale, but every time I go in there, I fuss at them because they don't have any paint. They did have almost 3 full racks of paint before they did a reset and a few months back. And now they just barely have any. I mean, they don't have hardly any. All of their paint now is in 4. I mean, they've got the bigger ones, but they used to have both sides of the aisle with paint, and now it's only half a section on one side. And they've got all kinds of summertime beach balls and floaties and all kinds of that. What does that have to do with a craft store? You are a craft hobby store. So they are forcing me to go try Michael's out. Okay, so I want some little bit of water. Put that out of my way. And let's go ahead and start by going under. Hi, Roxy. Okay, now some came up. I can't paint close to bedtime anymore because I can't shut my brain off and I paint all night long. I know, me too. I have painted before, started like at 8 o'clock or so and just gonna paint till 10. Yeah, right. And before I knew it, alarm clock was going off to get ready for work. So I try to be really careful and don't do that anymore. All right, let's see what this looks like floated underneath here. Just gonna take my little angle brush. It's really dried out quick. Okay, so even though it's the same color up above it, by adding that water to it, it's more like a wash and it looks shaded. And Marie Mosley and Erica Wallace would be so proud of me. I'm using a dish. This is the 3rd time I've used this one. I get heebie-jeebies when I reuse one, but I'm trying to be a little better about it, but I won't do it much. I mean, after a few times, it's got to go. Can't do it. Okay, so I am just really just, I don't want to say slapping this on here, but I'm not taking a ton of pain with it. I'll switch to my little bit larger angle brush for this. Okay, I'm just going to go down. Just working it back and forth. And I'm dipping my brush back in the water a little bit and then dabbing it off. I've also got the heat going. When Mr. Pan's not here, I run the heat up a little bit. He likes it cold, and I like it normal. He likes to keep our thermostat on about 68 or 69. And I've always got a sweater on and a blanket on the couch because the vent's right over where I sit, and oh my goodness, I freeze. Okay, my brush got a little bit of a split in it, so I was putting a little bit more water on it. And just smoothing it out. Okay, so there you've got it with, and over here without. Just makes such a difference. All right, let's go up above the sole. A little too much water. So I'm just wiping it out a little bit. Dip my brush in the water, pat it off, and then I'm just going to dip it about a triangle's worth on the long end, the toe of it. I had a water drip. This is a pretty color, and apple barrel to me is easier to shade with because it is a thinner paint. Okay, I want to dry that because I'm going to go up that other side, and I don't want to wipe off what I already, or what I just put on there. But I am going to darken this. I want this a little bit darker. Because it just seems like to me it would be darker right over that sole. So I'm just dipping my brush back in the water and reloading. Okay, now it looks much better. We're going to use one of our, or probably two of our Dippin' Dottie tools here in just a second. Sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. Okay, so I'm just taking this brush, dipping it in my water. That was a little bit much, so, and just putting it out a little ways from where I want to shade so that that paint will fade out. So many different ways you can do this. You can just do it by just putting water on the brush that you're shading with. I do a little bit of both. Hubby's home for supper. Okay, Jacqueline. Nope, can't do it. I know, putting it on the same plate. Yes, time flies, definitely, when you're painting. It just goes by so fast. Even if it's just a simple piece. I hate how, not just deco art, but all of the paints, when you get one you just love and it's your standby, and then bam, they don't make it anymore. And I'm thinking that this English Ivy is one of those. So I'll have to go get it color matched. Okay, I'm going to go back under this brim. I'm trying to think what to call it. It's like a hat brim. Okay, so we've got our shading done. And I'm trying to think, do I want to go ahead and put the fabric on? No, I think we're going to do, well, let me think here. Let me think. Yes, we're going to go ahead and put the fabric on because we're going to do some dotting, and that's going to, those dots will be wet. Let me grab a black here. Thought I had one out, but I don't guess I do. Okay, because I think I want to do some shading on that, on the brim. Let's see what that looks like right quick. Just notice that. I may not like it, but if I don't, I'll wipe it right off. And it may not even really show once we get the fabric on. I have a hard time seeing with this light. Right above the top of it there. Let's dry that so I don't wipe it off. Okay, so I'm going to go back into that black. I'll need to wash my brush out really well. That black in it. Okay. So now it's got a little bit still wet, but just separates a little bit. But it may, this is the main one here on the bottom because the other's probably going to be covered up in that fabric. Okay, so now we need to do some Mod Podging. And got it ready here. I've been pricing Mod Podge. Walmart versus Amazon versus Hobby Lobby. And Walmart, if you order it online right now, has it a little over $1 off a jar. So I might just do that. Touch up underneath here a little bit. Okay, so let's get some Mod Podge going. Wet my brush just a little bit so my bristles don't stick together too bad. I'm going to go ahead and turn the iron on so it will be heating up. I've got a little craft iron. Hi, Marie. I was just talking about you. I said you would be so proud of me. This is the third time I've used this tray. And I'm having, I don't know what I'm having, anxiety or what it is, but it won't last much longer, I can tell you that. All right, so let's get our Mod Podge on. I'm going to go right down that edge. Now this has already got a hanger on the back of it. That's what you're seeing stick out the side. Trying to clean up my wood pile, Miss Marie. So I've got, I think, 4 or 5 more boots out there. See what all I can do with them. don't remember if I cut these or if I ordered these. I ordered one, and then I don't remember if I made a pattern off of it and cut it myself. Just don't remember. All right, let me see if I got all the edges. Okay, let's get that dry. Good looking palette. Looks crafty, huh? Peggy's like me. She has a hard time doing it. Tell my Becca hello. I'm not going to get to go to Erica's event. Too much going on that month, and it's breaking my heart. Plus, I lost my chauffeur now that he's working. Okay, so what I'm doing now is drying the Mod Podge, and then we will put our fabric over it and then reactivate it. And there's probably some edges we'll have to put a little more down on. Okay, should be good enough. Man, that just changed the whole mood. Okay, I think got it on there. I'll be careful and not move it. A little bit of white right there. Whoops, I moved it big time. Okay, let me stand up and look at it and make sure I've got it covered everywhere. Just dropped everything. Okay, right there, don't breathe. Don't breathe. I don't know why I always hold my breath until this sticks in there, because you stick it in the wrong place, it's stuck, and you're going to have to rip it up and do it again. It is a great match, isn't it? Okay, let me kind of, this cord over here where I can maneuver it. Okay, so I'm pressing down a little bit, putting some pressure on it while I rub it around, making sure I get around those edges really well. I'm going to pull it off the table just a little bit so that I can get down in those crevices. It's got a lot of them. And then we'll cut away the excess fabric. See how it's coming up here. Okay, I'm going to do that without Without the parchment paper there. And then when you put this, reseal it on the top, that should take care of everything. All right, away with you, paper. Just giving it a quick once over without the parchment paper. You don't want to do that too long because you'll end up with glue all over your iron. Okay, so I think we're good. On that. Okay, so that's dry. And then I will go around the edges and sand all this off with a with a fingernail file emery board, or my little sanding block will work as well. So if we don't have time to do that, that's what I'll end up doing, because I want to go ahead and get to the embellishments. Put the lid back on the Mod Podge until I get ready to put the second coat on there, but I'm going to let that sit and dry a little bit. But here's what we've got. Isn't that pretty, the colors? Okay, so I've made up my mind what we're going to do. We're going to put some little flowers here to kind of look like little sunflowers with the small Dippin' Dottie. So if you've gotten your Dippin' Dottie within the last week from the last sale, comment, got yours. Now I know several of you haven't used them yet because you just got them. Okay, so I'm going to dip it. I've got some yellow. I'll look at it and make sure none of them are connected. And I'm going to put one about right dead center. Going to redip. And see, we're going to put one about right to that inside. You'll see that. Redip. Okay, so there's our small one. Okay, I've got it, swished it out in the water, and now I'm cleaning it with the edge of my towel. Actually, I'm going to use the edge of my wet cloth because that cleans it better. I know this takes a little minute to clean it, but you will be sorry if you don't, because it'll start getting caked up in there and it's so much harder to get off. Sometimes if I have a little bit that doesn't want to come off, I'll take a toothbrush and clean it, but good as new. Ready to go again. Okay, now for the center, I think we will do the black. Or I could do light brown. Let's do black and see what that looks like. Yeah, that shows up okay. Okay, clean it off. Now I'm going to dry them just enough to set them so that they're not going everywhere, but I don't want to get them too hot because they'll flatten or they'll almost pop. They come up to a head and look weird. So I'm just going to get a little heat on each side of them, all around, and they should be good to go. They're still wet underneath, so you don't want to touch them. Now here's my thought. Let me bring you back down a little more. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're in a package. I forgot how many to a package, but ladybugs. I also got bees, but I think ladybugs will be cute because there's some red berries in here that look like little ladybugs. I could even put a few inside there, but I thought it would be really cute to put a couple on the inside of this. Aren't they cute? I like them. Grab a drink before the old voice goes. And then I've also got a little welcome. The last one we did that was behind me. We put welcome going down this way. And I don't know. I don't think I like that. Now that's not too bad. Let me turn it around. I don't like it going the other direction. But I'm also going to still have some highlighting and stuff to do here. Bring you up here. Hello, hello. Okay, now those ladybugs are not glued, so I can't bring it up all the way. But there's the welcome going that way. And then I think we're going to do some, I know, we're going to do some of the big Dippin' Dotties. The big mama. Thank you, Miss Roxy. Hi, Mary. You've been using yours from the first round. Oh, yay. Good. Good, good, good. I'm so glad to hear that. And it's not something you're going to use on everything, but when you need it, it's so nice to have it. All right, let's go ahead and, well, I'm trying to think if I want to glue these little guys on yet. I don't think so. Okay, so this is going to go about right there. So here, here, here. Talking to myself. All right, let's get the big mama. Okay, so one right there. Redip. And we'll put one down here. Oops. All right, I kind of messed that one up. It moved on me. Let me get a baby wipe right quick and wipe that off. So I don't like that one. Good old baby wipes. Okay, so let me redip. See how it's wobbling? Well, when I put it on there, the boot wobbled because I've got it off partly off of this panel here. Much better. Okay, we're probably going to go in the center too. And I'm just kind of guessing where these are going. We're going to put one right here in the center. Okay, and I think that should do it on those. All right, let me get it cleaned off right quick. And then we'll put some in the center of each one. Okay, I think we got that. One more there. I know I'm an overprotective brush mama, but can't help it. It's just in my blood. Hello, DLB. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our black centers in there to kind of go with our... Now, be thinking what to go with our sunflowers. Be thinking what color should we do the welcome. Should we do it in yellow? Should we do it in a lighter green? What color would you do it in? And while you're doing that, let's put some black centers in here. See if I can do it without running my hand through everything I've just done. I'm going to move this before I make it run across it. I've been planting flowers for the last couple of days, and the wind's about to destroy them. Not only have we had wind, but we've been battling that dust storm. It's finally starting to settle. It was terrible. Our cars were all covered. Sidewalks. Everything. And man, has it done a number on our sinuses. And people with breathing problems already, it sure didn't help them. Okay, one more. So I'm just taking the other end of that Dippin' Dottie. And not only am I dotting, but I'm kind of going in a circular motion to make them a little bit bigger. Just want a little bit bigger center. Okay, let's dry set that a little bit. And then I want to do a little bit of white highlights on here. Let's see, let's go look and see if I could tell how much those little ladybugs were. Okay, the ladybug packages ended up being, I think 69 cents a package. Because everything, all of their spring, if it says that name, spring something on it, spring shop, everything's 40% off. And they were hanging on an end cap back by the paint. Okay, that's all I'm going to dry those because I don't want them caving in on me. And I'm not ignoring y'all. The comments on my iPad are in and out. Some I can see some and then I can't see them for a few minutes. Then they finally start coming. So, hi Lou, hello. Oh, we've had several hop on here. I was missing more than I thought I was. Okay. Alrighty, so let's do, I do want to do a few little highlights with white. So let me bring you back down. And we'll do just some little squigglies. So let's get my liner brush. Which one do I want to use? We'll get old trusty here. This is a 30-aught, a 30-0. I love it. It's got a really, really, really long brush, bristles. Now our welcome is going to go slanted there. So let's just do a few little highlights. And since we've got so many dots with our flowers, I'm not going to do dots in between them. Now these dots are still wet, so I have to be careful. Okay, we could even I might put, I think I'll wait until these are completely dry and then do a little bit of white highlighting on the petals. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the ladybugs on. Thank you, Miss Marie. Now see, I saw your comment that just came up, that this is so sweet. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of stick fast on it. On the little ladybug. Oops. And I slid it. Oh well, that's where it's going to go. I tell you, with that stick fast, you don't have any time to do anything. So that's where it's planted. So let's try to, these are so tiny. So let's see if we can get gluing my fingers together, y'all. Okay, let's see if we can get it pretty even. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, I see a little touch up here I need to do. Okay, what do y'all think about the welcome? Let me turn it around here. There's another touch up. Okay, I'm going to touch up where that glue was showing. All right, let's hold you up here. Hi, Glenda. Okay, let's see if I can hold this up now. Oh, all the parchment paper's behind me. I'm crunching it. Isn't that be cute? I may put a few little white dots. Oh no, I think it needs a little more white on it. What color would you do the welcome sign? I mean the welcome word. Slow connection. Okay, sorry y'all. Hope we're not fading out. What color would you do it? Would you do it white, yellow, dark green? I may have to think about it. What color would you do it, Marie? What color would you do the word? It doesn't look half bad, just natural, but... do it white with little green dots. Hi, Heather. Hello. Okay, well, I may have to think about that, but it's got the little ladybugs and everything on it, but I just love the colors, and some flowers just seem to never go out. Okay, tells me I'm about to lose connection. I hope not. Let me get this right quick. If I don't do this to my stick fast right after I use it, I cannot get any to come out. So I have to baby it too. It's like I've got all my supplies spoiled. I can't imagine me spoiling anything. Nah, not me, huh? Okay, well, I will post a picture of it when it's finished. When I decide what white, see, that's kind of what I was thinking, brown like the centers of the sunflowers. Well, and the centers of the top. Yeah, that would be cute too. I'll have to see. I'll have to see. The white might brighten it up. I'm thinking it needs a little brightening. So I might just try it both ways and see which looks the best. Because brown would look good too. All right, but I'm going to have to think about that because I've got to run some errands. But look how quick we did that. And it looks like you painted it, just spent so much time painting it, you know, and we did not. But anyway, that's another way to use your tool. If you've gotten your tools, there's another little tidbit on how to use them. We could even make little stems coming out of the flowers, just little bitty short stems. So there's 2 or 3 things that I could do. I'll be thinking about, while I shop, thinking about how I want to do it, what I want to do. All right, ladies, that's it. Thank you so, so much for hopping on with me. Thank you. All right. And if you have not already gotten your Dippin' Dottie tools from the live sale, you should be getting them any day. But I've been getting several messages, so I think most of you do. Okay, I'm going to let you go because it says I'm losing connection. Have a great, great weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.